Hi, parents. Happy Monday. Okay, we're going to get started. So I'm going to break the videos up in two because I guess when I tried to do the one, it was too long. However, the first thing we're going to be covering in this video is basically talking about comparing the lesson plans to the home learning. So I hope over the weekend you have had some time to basically take some time to look over the material and to see that the lesson plan does actually correspond with the home learning. What I hope you pay close attention to and read thoroughly is the pages that says students and families. Now, that is important because this is going to help you and make your home learning experience a lot easier because it lets you know exactly what it is that you need to be doing for the lessons. Okay? So let's just dive right in. The first thing we're going to talk about is the moral focus. The moral focus is designed to be fun. Okay, that's why it's asking for colors, crayons, pencils, whatever. It's 30 minutes. We want it to be, now we want it to be educational as well as fun. So let me just get into it. The reason that we have moral focus is because NHA came up with the policy or the procedure of having virtues. These virtues they wanted the students to practice. So every month we have a different virtue. So the month of April's virtue is compassion. What I would do if I was in the classroom, I would just basically start out asking, do you know what compassion is? Or what is compassion? They may give you some answers. They may just say, I don't know. And at this point, it's fine because we have not been to school for the month of April. So this is all brand new. So that's when you will go to the home learning book and turn to page 7. And on page 7, it gives you the different grade levels. Right in the middle, grade 4, it gives you the definition of compassion. Now, I'm navigating on my computer as well as doing the videos. So give me a minute. So it gives you the definition of compassion. And together you all read it. Talk about it. Once you're done with that, then come to do day 1's assignment. Here it is. It has discussion questions, 4 of them. You don't need to choose all 4. Just choose 2 to talk about. After you have talked about the discussion questions, then you can go on to your fun activity. Now, the activity, just have them get a sheet of paper, colors if you have it. They're going to start off talking about compassion. What is compassion? Have them write the definition out. And then on the left side of the paper, it can be decorative or it can just be standard, just left side of the paper split in half. However you decide to do it is perfectly fine. On the left side of the paper, they're going to have to list 3 to 5 adjectives, which means it describes compassion. Or synonyms, which is words that are basically the same or mean the same as compassion. Then on the left side, we have, on the right side, you're going to be talking about how do you show compassion. Okay, I took the time to do a small example just to show you. Now, I can't turn my camera around, so it's going to be backwards. I'm still working on this, okay? But I do want you to see, so I'm going to move out the way, and I'm just going to show you what mine look like. It's basically a replica of what is in the book. But I just took the time to, do it because I thought it was fun. And so, yeah, I know it's backwards, but you get the hint. You get it. I'll read it to you. So what do you think about when you hear the word compassion using adjectives or synonyms? Well, one example is thoughtful. That's an adjective because it describes compassion. Another word I chose was sympathy. Sympathy is a synonym because it means the same as compassion. To have sympathy for someone is to have compassion for them. So it means the same. When I come over here to the right side of my paper, and I just put in a little bubble, how do you show compassion? One of my examples was say kind words. Another of my examples was help others in need. So then your child, with the help of you, should be able to come up with at least 3 to 5 different examples. I'm not saying 3 to 5 adjectives. Between adjectives and synonyms, 3 to 5, okay? So once you're done with that, we're done. Your child has just had an introduction to our moral focus virtue of compassion. You're done. Now we can move on to ELA, okay? When we move on to ELA, it starts off with our 20-minute read. Now, this may take your child longer than 20 minutes. That's okay, but this reading is designed to be done today. Once you're done reading, you are going to automatically, when I say you, I'm talking about the child, your child is going to automatically log on the reading log this story. Okay, remember the reading logs I want back at the end of the month. So starting today to the end of the month, I should see the different readings. Now, the first reading story is the story about the dolphins. Notice that the story have vocabulary words. Go over these vocabulary words with your kids. If they don't know what the word means, automatically go to the glossary, look the words up, have them read it, talk about it, break the definition down, whatever you need to do so that you can have them have a better understanding of that word. And the reason that I'm saying this is because when they read it, they need to be fluent in what's going on. Because once the reading is done, they're going to have a written response. The written response is nothing new. It's our race writing. If you ask your child about race writing, we have a race writing song. They should be able to recite to you what race writing is. In addition, I have previously done a race writing anchor chart and I posted that on Dojo, so it should be there on the class story in one of those messages that I sent or posted on class story. However, just for the parents' sake, race writing stands for the R is restate. You're restating the question, changing the question to a statement. Then the A is answering the question. C is citing evidence from the text. And E is explaining your evidence. I have taught them to use colors, underlining each component of race writing. So if you have the color purple, that is going to be used for underlining your restate. Red is for underlining your answer. Green is for underlining your evidence. That means citing all the evidence that you can pull out of that text. And blue is going to be for underlining your explain. Explain why. Notice on the left side of the constructed response, you have sentence starters when it comes to citing the evidence. They know about this. They like to use according to the text. In the story, it states. However, it is very important for you to remind them that before they start citing evidence, they must use quotation marks. Quotation marks is going to save them from plagiarizing. We don't want to get them at an early age to start plagiarizing, to just think that you can go to the book and just start writing what's in the book. No, thank you. You cannot. If you support it by quotation marks, then yes, you can. After you have cited all of your evidence, close them off with quotation marks, and then you can move on to your explain. Notice also it has sentence starters for explain. This proves any of those sentence starters on the left side of the page is fine to start off with. It helps them out. Okay? The prompt that you're going to be using is you're going to be summarizing the main idea from page 7. It's stated on the lesson plan as well. If they ask you what is summarizing, go back to that anchor chart of summarizing where it says, what is summarizing? How do we summarize and why? That's an anchor chart. You all can be creative and develop it yourself, or you can just read it straight from the book. However, while we're doing this lesson of summarizing, your child needs to read that every day before starting. That is an anchor chart. We need to read it every day because it gets their wheels turning. Okay? So once you're done with the race writing, then you're going to go on to your practice. And again, I am navigating through the system. Okay, so once you get to the practice, that is lesson 5. Lesson 5 is summarizing informational text. What is summarizing? We just went over it, so they should be able to tell you something. Okay, well, what is meant by informational text? What type of text is that? They should know what informational text is, but in the event they don't, it's okay because we haven't been in school in a month. So they may be a little rusty, maybe a little early whenever you're starting. I don't know. But however, informational text is just designed to give you information. Okay? That's exactly what it is. So once you go over reading the learning target and reading the directions, what talks about to summarize, main ideas, they definitely know what a main ideal is. Key details, they definitely know what that is. If you use the word key details and they looking at you kind of iffy, say juicy details. They'll know because I always use juicy details. That means those are the details that if I close my eyes and you're reading to me, I should be able to visualize what it is that you're saying with my eyes closed. Those are juicy details. Those are the more important details, okay? So here it is when you're going to read, even the toothbrush has a history. It's an informational text. Once you're done reading that, then you're going to go on to the practice. Think. Here it is. This is a chart on the page, and it basically gives you the main idea. So they don't even have to figure out. It gives you that. From this main idea, you or your child, not you, your child needs to pull out 3 key details from the text that supports that main idea. The purpose of this chart is to help create the summary that they're going to write right underneath. So you have your main idea and then your supporting details. It's designed to be a framework or a template to help structure the summary, because we know a summary is basically summarizing what you have read, telling from what happens in the beginning, middle, and end, but just focusing on the key details, okay? So once you get done with that, then we have the talk. Okay? So it says talk with a partner. Parents, you are the partner. So talk it over with your kids, have them discuss whether they included, the details from the chart. Was it easy? Basically whatever it states on here. Did you agree on the main idea? How did the text organize the main ideas? To help you create a summary. So just talk it over. How did you pull that information out? And when you pulled it out, how did you construct those 3 key details to help you or to allow you to be able to do a summary of what you read? Just talking it out, okay? Once you're done with that, then that part really concludes the ELA because you're only doing 1 story a day. Okay? Now, make sure, I'm going to end this video because I don't want it to be too long so I can upload it. But parents, it's really, really imperative. Make sure you're sitting side by side or somewhere close where you can help your child, because I'm telling you, they're going to be rusty. For this whole week, you're going to need to be right by their side, helping them. This week, they're not going to be able to fully do everything on their own as an independent assignment. This is what you're here for. You're here to help them get them gears turning in their heads, asking these helpful questions that will make them think about what it is that they need to do. Because if you don't, they're just going to put anything or give you minimum answers. We're not here for that. I don't want to see that. I want to see well-constructed 4th grade answers. And so that means, parents, you're going to need to help them this week. I'm telling you. I know. I'm in the classroom with them every day. This week is going to be a week of modeling. This is how we're going to do it. Develop your plan. Get your routine down. It's okay. You're teachers now. You have to do it, okay? It's going to take some prepping. It's going to take some getting used to. That's why I'm taking this time to do this video so that you can see, basically how to pose questions. Talk about it. All of that will help them to understand what it is that they need to do, what it is that they should retain, what information is important. Summarizing. Okay, I know I need to know how to summarize. If I forget something, let me go back to that anchor chart so I can read it. That's why I'm telling you they must read that anchor chart every day. It's not titled anchor chart, but it's to summarize what, how, and why. That's like an anchor chart. I would create that as an anchor chart and hang that in my room. Okay, they need to read that every day before starting the assignment. It's going to help. Trust me. Okay, ask questions. They need this, not just to be sitting at the table doing this solely independent for this first week. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video. My next video is going to be on math and then science. All right.